What up all my hoodlums, hooligans, knuckleheads, players and pimps, slayers and simps, hoes and freaks, nerds and geeks, strippers and tippers, thugs and gorillas, soldiers and kings, goddesses and queens, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, niggas and bitches, and you sophisticated motherfuckers alike. Welcome to Hip Hop's biggest fan.
I'm coming for everything. If the sun's out to shine, we gon' let it rain. Every album I get better made. Rockin' off-white, no Medellin. Keep the rollie clean, bout to blow some steam.
And today, I'm with Japiro. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. Good.
Man.
Glad to be here.
Man, wanted to do this, you know, probably, I don't know, earlier this year, whatever, after I talked to Gutter.
Right.
You know what I mean? Shout out to VIP. But I'm gonna try to act like I don't know some shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I known this brother, we went to high school together. You know what I mean? Truth be told, ain't like we was best friends, cool, or whatever, but motherfucker, you know, shit, nigga, we went to high school together. Mm-hmm. So that's where I originally know this man from. You know what I mean? I know you was rhyming back then. All right, but you know, we gonna take it from the top, I guess. Where you from? Where you hail from, brother, in the city?
I'm from Sedonia, Northeast Baltimore, so
okay.
know, I ain't far from here, so you know, it's I mean, anything Sinclair Lane up to the top of Sedonia, pretty much. Frankfurt, Sinclair Lane,
okay.
Sedonia Avenue, Whitby, Arizona, Silver Bell, Bucknell, Whitwood, Waycross, Morris Run. That's me. That was where I'm from.
The original starting ground.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, at what age do you recall hearing the first song in hip hop, yo, that just made you, that kind of made you interested or fall in love with this hip hop shit, though? Like your earliest recollection of a song.
Hip hop wise, it's Rakim and Eric B. Damn, I think another master plan. It's
Oh, Paid in Full.
Paid in Full. Yeah, that's my first like direction into hip hop.
Okay, so this late 80s.
Yeah, like
I would say
87.
Yeah.
88, yeah, something like that.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, me knowing the same age, it's single digits.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So after that, you know, I'm guessing I know how I was. After that, anytime I heard hip hop, because back then wasn't no radio station.
Nah, my sister had the record.
Had the record? Okay, it was either that or a tape.
Matter of fact, I don't. Matter of fact, it was that. But I'm gonna tell you the real records that did it. My sister had Salt and Pepper records.
Oh, okay.
So Push It.
Okay.
And the first singles they had, it was the first rap artist that had colored vinyl. Push It was red.
Oh,
Push
say word.
Push It was red, just like these official joints we got.
Yeah, the hip hop biggest fan cups. You dig?
Yeah. These first ones, Push It was red, and I think whatever their second single or third single might have been at the time, once they really got popping, it was like a royal blue.
Okay.
But like that vinyl was colored.
Damn. Yeah, see, that's rare.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna say back then, from my knowledge.
Yeah, yes it was.
You know what I mean? I ain't see my first color vinyl till Snoop Dogg. Was it Snoop Dogg shit?
Man, it might have been Snoop first joint.
It was green.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
that was just that's shit. How many years later? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, cause wasn't no radio. They wasn't playing that shit on the radio.
Nah.
If you was lucky enough, if you had cable, or one of your friends, you might be able to go over and then. But I'm trying to even think if they was playing videos
I don't
for
even
real.
know if they had a video for that song, to be honest. They may have had one, you know what I'm saying? Because MTV was, you know, that would have been, or BET would have been the only two places we had.
Yeah.
This jukebox just started, I think, in like 87, 88.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's all around the same time. Okay.
Yeah, so,
okay.
yeah, jukebox might have came even later than that. Might have been 90.
Yeah, the Jukebox Network. Hell yeah, yo.
Yeah.
All right. So, what intrigued you to want to start rapping yourself?
To be honest, like, it might have been my pops, you know what I'm saying? He used to bring records home every Friday night when he got paid. So
okay.
I don't even think it was, it wasn't really rap that made me want to rap or learn how to make music. It was really like R&B songs, because you know in the 80s, our R&B was pop.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? We had everything.
Yeah.
So we had, I mean, like, it could have been a white person record. It could have been a black person record. Yo, 80s music wasn't really that bad. And I think, like, when we got to 90s music was so perfected by the time the 90s came. It was like everybody era feel like their era is that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
our parents would be like, so we grew up in the 80s and the 90s. So for us, things that came out in the 80s and the 90s and 2000s is like, oh, no, it's never gonna be better than this. But then it's like, all right, we in 2021.
Yeah.
And it's still people that was popping when we was younger today. You know
Still
what I'm
putting
saying?
shit out.
Still putting shit out. So I think for me, I thought about it as like, yo, when I get older, what can I be? So I always was like a hybrid, a rapper and kind of like R&B a little bit.
Okay, I get that now. You saying that?
Yeah.
Listening to your music?
Yeah.
And this motherfucker got it. His catalog is like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I can hear like you're saying, the touches of the R&B influence in your music as well. Okay, that makes full sense.
Yeah, definitely. I felt like growing up, I grew up around a lot of my homeboys, so a lot of us, most of the time, we be outside all day long. But then when you get older, you be around girls a little bit, so I would be like, damn, I want to rap, but if I rap, my homeboys might think I'm too soft if I sing.
Okay.
And I said, if I sing, the girls might like me if I sing. But what happened? I left my homeboys hanging. So I was like, can't be too soft, and I ain't trying to be hard. I want to be somewhere. I gotta be somewhere in between. It's a fine line to walk.
He intertwined them.
Yeah,
That's the way I'm getting.
I had to find that place because I felt like some dudes I grew up with, they hoop. Well, I hooped. I used to hoop. I used to play football. I used to do everything sports, y'all. That's all I had. But I was always smaller than everybody else. So I was like, yo, when I find that thing that I can really lash on to, and everybody had something, but nobody was really rapping like that. People used to sing.
Bro.
People used to sing, but nobody was rapping, and I was like, yo,
No.
I'm a master this shit when I find it.
You are absolutely 100% correct. It was not many motherfuckers rapping.
No.
I was the youngest motherfucker in my neighborhood rapping.
Yeah.
Nobody else was.
Yeah, it was dudes older than me. Like, you know, I grew up with all my homeboys that I really came up with. I was in like first grade. I used to try getting a talent show.
Okay.
And so because like my homeboy's sister was like the person that'd get you in, or my homeboys that lived at the end of my block.
Okay.
The older brother, you know, I ride bikes with him now, but back then I was the little young dude used to run to the store for everybody, or we get on the bike,
right,
and I'm riding on the back.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I was always the little homeboy. So, you know, I would always think I had the easy edge, but they ain't make it easy for me.
Ain't supposed to.
Nobody ever. So every time when I do the talent show, first grade didn't get in, fourth grade didn't get in. So then when I got to middle school, I was like, I'm gonna figure this shit out because now we their age now. So,
Okay.
So, you know.
But hold up, bro.
Yeah.
You said in the first grade, yo, you was trying to get in talent shows.
Yeah.
So when did you write your first rhyme? Like, how the fuck old was you?
My first rhyme, well, real, honestly good, like decent shit was like 7th grade. Was my first.
Do you
raps.
remember it?
It was like Mission 1, snatching MCs for fun, because I pull out my fist, not gats or guns. It was like
Okay,
that.
okay.
It was like that. That's my first rap, and the shit was on like paper. Like I typed that shit on paper.
Oh, say word. Okay.
Yeah. Yep, the paper, the little shit you had to peel off on the sides and shit. It
Oh,
wasn't even
damn.
real paper. Because my father had an old ass computer, but I was like, I'm gonna type my raps because I want to learn how to copyright my shit. So I used to type my shit first. I never really wrote raps and books in the beginning.
So you had the foresight to know that you needed to copyright
Yeah,
your lyrics.
Yeah, off the
How the fuck did you know this? You 7th grade?
Because when when shit was happening, I guess we was in 7th grade, right? So Snoop came out.
Yep,
I think. Snoop
right
came-
around there, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember I was in the classroom, and I was writing Murder Was the Case. I was transcribing Murder Was the Case, and a substitute teacher saw me transcribing it, and she was like, what you listening to? Because you ain't really supposed to have headphones. And
Yeah.
I was writing the Snoop verses on the paper, and I was trying to learn how to count bars while I was doing it.
Okay.
So that's what started me doing it. So I said, damn, you always gotta scratch out. I said, well, if you use a computer, you ain't gotta scratch nothing. No, I can just type, fix it, go back, edit it, fix it, and keep doing it, and
Yeah.
save my rap. So then if I lose my rap book, I know it's on the floppy disk back, you know, or whatever we were saving it on.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So
That's some hella foresight there, though. Yo,
Yeah.
to be fucking 7th grade,
yeah,
dog.
7th grade. Yeah, 7th grade was my first raps, but they were okay. They were okay.
I mean, bro, you in the 7th grade.
Yeah.
Like, you were, how the fuck old are you in 7th grade? 13 or something?
Yeah, I was like 12, 13.
So, yeah, something like that. So, I mean, shit. Especially just, you know what I mean, you just learning.
Yeah, real premature, but this was early. I mean, I knew how to rap a little bit. I could freestyle. I just didn't know how to write it on paper.
Okay.
And make it make sense and format. I ain't know shit about that.
Okay.
Yeah, none of that. I ain't even gonna sit here and try to act like I knew about
Nah,
football.
I mean, bro,
That came way later.
it's you know, you hear all the stories about dudes that was on and they ain't know how to count bars. You know what I mean?
I ain't know how to count bars until probably 96 to 10th grade.
Okay.
Yeah, so 10th grade. So it took me about 3 years to understand the concept of that. But it didn't take me long to teach it, for somebody to teach it and show me. It took like 3 years to really get to the format.
Okay. Now, when did you record your first song?
First song might have came, well, studio first song might have came 95, 96. 96.
Okay.
First song, because we used to have to put money together. So me, Brian, BJ, we used to go to the studio, whatever. And then I used to go to my studio with my homeboys around my way too.
Okay.
We was making beats. We started making beats in 95. We started fucking with the MPC in 95.
Okay, so I want to talk to you about your production, because this motherfucking production is something to be celebrated.
Yeah, man.
You know, for lack of a better term. For real. All right, so you started learning production in 95 on the MPC.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Rushing home from city, rushing home 9th grade. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? Because in 94, what we was doing, well, 93 and 94, when New York Undercover came out, right?
Right.
Every time the beginning of New York Undercover came on, they always had the hardest beats, whatever song it was.
Yeah.
So what I would do is I get the instrumental, the tape instrumental, and then record myself rapping over it. So on Fridays, I was doing freestyle Fridays in middle school. So what I would do is the Mad Line, Take It Easy.
Yeah.
I rapped over that. So on Friday, I come to school with that freestyle on the tape. Then Usher came out. Then I rap or do like a R&B type joint on the Usher joint. Every time New York Undercover came with that new song, the Onyx was on New York Undercover, and Sticky Fingers was acting on that joint.
Yeah.
So whatever, I think Biggie might have been the song. It might have been Flavor in Your Ear in the beginning, or it might have been an Onyx song. So that week, I do that. So I was doing this every week that New York Undercover the season. And then once the spring came, I never forget. And I kind of knew that I was on to something. I remember we used to have free days, and it was on a Friday. And I remember the teacher said we could play whatever tapes we wanted in the back of the classroom.
Okay.
And so my other homeboys used to come drop verses on the tapes. We used to record, with the little karaoke type joint.
Yeah.
So my homeboys wouldn't turn it up. And the teacher was like, what y'all listen to? Everybody gathered around in a circle in the back of the classroom playing it on this tape recorder in the classroom. And she was like, who's that rapping? And they like, it's James. And I'm sitting there like, dang, I'm like Spider-Man at this point, Batman, because I got nobody don't really know I rap, but it's like my alias start to, people figure me out.
You was going by Japiro back then?
I ain't even have a rap. I don't even know if I had a rap name back then. I don't even know what the hell I was calling myself. For real, no bullshit. Yeah, I don't know. Them people just call, I don't know. I probably made up a crazy ass name. And we made a group of what I was called the Peso Snatchers in the beginning.
Okay.
And the teacher said, turn it up, let it play. Because I ain't cursing my raps in the beginning. And even if I did, I would edit them out.
Okay.
So if I was going to say a curse word, I'd say something that make people know that that's what the curse word might be, but I would edit it out so people would know.
Okay, and back, I'm gonna even say back then that was standard.
Yeah, that was standard. And I ain't say niggas either. I never would say niggas because the concept of certain people feel a way about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Around my family, I mean, we gonna say it. You know what I'm saying? But certain people didn't like it.
Yeah.
So it took
even to this day,
So I wouldn't put it in my rap. So
I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Made me think. I had to draw it back. I forgot all about this part of the whole scenario.
I mean, hey, bro, it's your story. So, talking to an artist, man, any artist I hear about, I want to know, like, how did you start this shit? Where did it all come from? So, to me, that's very important to know somebody's story. You know what I mean?
It's definitely the origin story. I don't think I ever. Yeah, nobody really asked me questions about that. Everybody asked me these real basic questions, like general shit.
Yeah, I mean, and that's fair. But I know for me, for what the fuck I'm doing for Hip Hop's biggest fan, I'm a fan of this shit. I want to know as much as I can about an artist. You know what I mean? From the earliest recollections, without even just particularly about the music, their artistry. Rather than asking them, okay, how about your parents and all that. But all right, I got off subject.
No, you rolling.
I got off subject. Okay. So, if I'm familiar, in high school, when I finally got up there, y'all had a group.
Facts.
MEP, right?
Well, no. Well, MEP came later. First it was Nomadic Dynasty. So first
Okay.
it was me, Bryant, and Steven in the beginning.
Okay.
So this in '96.
Stephen Jones.
Yep.
My man.
That live in Atlanta.
Yeah, my man. What up, yo?
Yup. Facts. So it was us, and how it started was them days that I was making beats on the MPC. See, Steve was actually the first person that I knew that rap that went to City.
Okay.
It was dudes in '97,
Other
in
classes.
'98, in the higher classes
Yeah.
than us that rap. But for some reason, I mean, you know how it is. They was there first.
Right.
So when they rap, everybody was in awe for them to rap. But nobody came with the concept that I had in my mind of what I wanted to do with it. But I still didn't have it when it was me, Brian, and Steven, because everybody kind of had their own accord.
Okay.
So we didn't really fall out for real. It was really more niggas went different ways, and as in things happening. So I put it to you like this. So Steven was dope. First day I met him, I heard him rap. We was cool, but I wasn't in classes with him, so I ain't know him.
Yeah.
So what they did one day, everybody was like, "Yo, everybody rap." We going in the little courtyard outside where the cafeteria.
Okay,
at.
yeah.
So it was a female. It was Georgetta used to rap.
Georgetta used to rap.
Yeah, she was hard though. Like
Okay.
she was like, you know how a female be like so soft on the outside, but like when she was rapping, it was hard shit. Like it was like how it was like how Nicki was before she got polished.
Okay.
That kind of rap. It was
Okay.
still sassy, but it was like hard. Like her shit might have been like harder than our shit. Like
Okay.
like content wise, it was too hard for a female. But it wouldn't have worked. Somebody would have had to work with her to make it work. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? But she could rap. Tori was rapping. He was in '98. Vernon and Roxy. Then Steven was in our class, so it was him. Then I didn't know Bryant rap, because all I ever saw Bryant do was hoop and play football.
Okay.
So I found out later on, me and Bryant was cool, so we used to kick it. And then I found out him and Steve was homies. So
Okay,
then
yeah.
they pulled me in, because they was like, yo, we should do something for like sophomore day. So they was like, all right, cool.
Okay.
But I never thought about us being a group. But when we did it, everybody was trying to get in. So it was like niggas that got kicked out that year. So they was like, yo, you can't do nothing with this nigga. They like, you doing something with this nigga. They talking about me while I'm standing there. So I'm like, all right, I got y'all. I'm gonna let y'all know. So they was just thinking because I was quiet that I ain't grow up a certain way.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And keep in mind, I'm like 4'10" back then.
Right.
Like 4'10", I'm probably barely 5 feet.
Okay.
Everybody else 5'5", 5'6", going into 6 feet. I ain't catch my growth spurt yet.
Right.
So when they all talking, I'm like, nah, it's y'all can keep thinking that. That's why I'm here.
Okay.
But I told them that day, I said, yo, it's, after this point, it's everything changing at this point with them.
Okay.
And that's what we did. We turned that shit into, we became like, it was football, it was hooping. I turned shit into like really, rap became a thing of school. Or niggas that's play chess, spades. You know, we had
Yeah.
groups of people. Everybody got their peoples they fuck with.
Right, right,
so
right.
I turned it into, that's what my thing was.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
So then, how did MEP form?
MEP formed.
Because that must have been right off the
The breakup, yeah.
Yeah.
It happened off the breakup because BJ wanted to go to Penn State, so we was always behind him to do that shit. Like, we knew it was coming.
Yeah.
We just didn't know when it was gonna come. And he kept telling us, yo, I got the word, I'm going.
Yeah.
We like, oh, niggas, we ain't, cause we don't, I ain't never had no homeboy that's going to no big time
Yeah.
school.
Yeah. No, shout out to him. Made it to the NFL and
Made
all
it
that.
to the
Like,
NFL and all of that,
yeah.
yes sir.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he did that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Respect and salute to him for that. Hell yeah.
Yeah, like, and you know, that happening for him, it still kind of overshadowed everything that we was doing together, because at the end of the day, that was more important than what we was doing at the time. Because
Okay.
we had them, you know what I'm saying, we gotta cheer you on.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So we was happy. Everybody was happy, you know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know how it worked for Steven versus for me and Dirk. It was a little different. So, because they were tighter and they grew up, they kind of like, they was in middle school
Yeah.
together and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So, long story short, once that happened, we was going to a studio, and when we was going to the studio, we used to put our money together. and we used to pay for the studio time. His older brother Corey, Brian's older brother Corey, was actually our producer, like our manager kind of.
Say word, okay.
Yeah, when we was in high school, and then he was cool with this dude who had the first version of Pro Tools I ever seen.
Okay.
So we was recording in Pro Tools when we was going to high school.
Yeah, and that was, I'm gonna say Pro Tools, from my knowledge,
It was like Pro Tools 1, 2, or 3.
yeah, first came out in the late 90s.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
So he had that, and then basically what happened was Steve was like, yo, we still need to form regardless with Bryant. So when Bryant want to come back, we'll bring him back in. If he need to dip, he can dip out.
Okay.
So we was trying to make the group work with us three. But the issue with us three, I don't know if it was creatively it wasn't working. So what happened was me and Derek was already making beats. I think Steve knew how to make beats too. I feel like he did because some melodies, so I feel like on the songs that we had, the way we did it was each person in the group got a chance to work out the melody of the song. You know what I'm saying? Or a part of that beat. So if you made a beat or you put any kind of thing together with that actual beat.
All right, how you doing, sir?
Good. Yep. Anything with that type of beat, you know, we tried to make it work. Everybody was getting their production credits because we now go from Corey producing us and the dude Phil producing us to actually Steve producing, I'm producing, Derek producing.
Okay.
And then what happened was at one point we made our last song together, which was the best song we made. We made this joint called Final Verdict. When we made Final Verdict, at that point I think that's where the creative differences started to happen.
Okay.
Because it might have been a thing. I don't know if nobody said they wanted to make a solo project, but I think Derek wanted to go by himself. He wanted to do his own thing. Because the thing was, the studio setup wasn't meant for us all. It only worked when it was all four of us.
Okay.
And I feel like once Derek would have left, it would have left me and Steve together as one. But me and Steve ain't necessarily have that. We was homeboys, but we were new homeboys. Like we were only 2 years in.
Understood.
Or a year and a half or something like that.
Right.
So Steve might have wanted to do his thing. But I might, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so I really couldn't choose. I wasn't trying to pick sides, honestly. I couldn't, because I really only knew everybody a year to 2 years at this point.
Okay.
So yeah, so after that, shit happened, and they wanted to do the talent show. So I can't remember if they decided if they didn't want to do the talent show with Derek. And I wanted to do the talent show by myself, but then they asked me to do it, so I was like, fuck it, I just do it with them.
Okay.
So then Derek was like, yo, you want to do that shit with them? Man, that's fucked up. He's like, I might gotta come at y'all. And I was like, come at us. So I'm like, oh, so now everybody got friendly competition.
Okay.
So then niggas in 98 is saying, yo, if you do the talent show with Dirk, Brian and Steven, they gonna come for y'all.
You know what? I might have heard, Steve might have told me something about some of that, but I'm listening, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so you know, and it ain't just 98 beef gassing. It might have been people in our class too.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's
because we
getting like
didn't
a
have no
motherfucker.
beef. We
Yeah.
didn't have. It was really nothing. It really was nothing. It was just the studio scenario made shit a little sketchy. So Brian going to Penn State, not his fault, but indirectly it changed the dynamic of the group, which created beef that was unnecessary.
Okay.
So we had no beef though, straight up. So first out the gate, them gas and everything. You know, we had flyers and everything. I don't know. We just heard hearsay. So for me, I'm the type of person I ain't really afraid of conflict. So I always.
I know, cause somebody said something to me about this nigga said something. I walked to you like, nigga, what the fuck you talking about? Like we got a problem? And it was a bunch of nothing for real.
Right.
But it was hearsay. He said whatever.
It was hearsay. So that's what make this shit good. So this what make it good because it might have fueled me to do a lot of shit that I was doing. So in the interim, we going back and forth. So I'm like, well, shit, we gonna light the fuse. Let's light it.
Right.
So we got the dude Jonathan Brown to make us a flyer. Back then we ain't had a flyer as a Photoshop. I mean, he drew that joint.
Okay.
So I went to Highs or like one of them little 7-Elevens or some shit and made copies.
Copies,
of the
yeah.
flyer. Came to school, passed them joints out. So I guess Brian and Steven see the flyer. So now they know. I know they coming for us because they had to see the flyer. But then niggas is still telling them other shit. But we ain't even tripping because how we did it for the talent show, we never dissed them off top. We had plan A and a plan B. Plan A was to do our shit, not say nothing about them, and keep it the way that we gonna rock it. So we gonna give y'all some bars, we gonna give y'all some party shit, we gonna give y'all some freestyle type shit, and keep it moving. But what happened was, when we got there, the energy from all the different classes and people in there, cliques and shit, having it, these niggas came on stage with gloves and sweatsuits on. So when I seen that shit, I'm sitting in the row, and everybody in the row that's on our side with us see them, and then they rapped over one of the beats we had. So when they did it, they rapped over Black Trump.
I did hear this story. Was I even there then?
You came in 12th or you came in 11th?
11th.
All right, so you might not have been at the talent show.
Yeah.
So
yeah, okay. No. But I've heard something about this story. Okay.
So this is like how like I'm gonna keep it 100. This almost like how Jay-Z kicked off the beef with Queens, right? So this what happened. I won the Cypher on 92Q for like 3 months, yo.
Okay.
Straight. So Molly Man was the first in, I was the second in.
Okay.
And maybe his sister. They might have crowned him and his sister together.
Okay.
And then I came. Then I conquered. Then there was people after me. And one of the beats that I had, one of the best freestyles that was in that time period was over this Black Trump beat. So I think, this is my mind. We all been squared away. I mean, the beef only lasted maybe a year. But I believe they rapped over the Black Trump beat because, for one, it was one of the hardest beats at the time. Yeah. But also because they knew I used to cook that beat all the time. But when they did it, they had gloves on, and they basically was like, they burying us. Yo, I'm trying to tell you, we had real beef, because of just competition.
Competition, there you go.
Competition is men. We young men at this time.
Yeah.
So when they got on stage, everybody telling us in the audience, yo, y'all got to come at them because they coming at us. And they had little details and shit, little shit that's happening. So I think I took more offense to it because they did sprinkle real shit in, but then they fabricated shit too.
Yeah, I definitely heard the story. Steve definitely done told me, was explaining this shit to me at some point. I can't recall why. Yep. But yeah, okay.
And looking back, yo, I swear to God, when we got to the end of it, all we could do was laugh. Because it was a real beef, but what it was based on wasn't anything.
It was competition.
It was competition. So So I thank everybody who gassed it because it taught me to learn later. I never had no beefs in rap ever since then. Any ones I've ever had has only been lyrical. It's never gotten or escalated.
Yeah, nothing physical.
Yeah, nothing physical.
Yeah.
So So stick to the story. So they diss us. We get on stage. Soon as we come out, Derek was like, yo, I got something I'ma say. And I was like, all right, what you gonna say? He told me. I get on stage and then I say exactly what he's supposed to say. But I didn't know to the effect what I said was going to create tension. So once I said it, it was on. That shit, the beef really started. And then of course our raps that we had for Plan B. When we call Plan B, we like, yo, Plan B. Everybody in the audience, they know what time it was. So then when we came with that, then we had our details from shit that happened to them. You know what I'm saying? Because we all know shit about each other.
Yeah.
So then we the details was takeover.
Petty Murphy!
Yeah, the details was takeover. But when everybody came with the extra shit, they went ether, we went ether. So you know what I'm saying? So we evenly came at each other with details of real shit that hurt, that make you be sitting there like, man, I'm gonna fight this nigga. But then at the same time, when they come with the other details, yo, these niggas all right, they can rap. You know what I'm saying? So it's all right, and that's where it was. So literally at that point, once that happened, I mean, they picked me up, they lifted me off the stage and shit. But I'm forgetting that they mad now. So now they mad. So we don't really know the temperature of what the situation was. So we went through an end of a school year. So this happened in May. This happened in May of 97. So the whole summer went by. We ain't really rap to each other. Nothing really happened. You know what I'm saying? So we thinking how school gonna be when they come back. So we kind of yo, maybe niggas will squash this shit when we get back about Christmas or something like that. We'll be back cool, or maybe we won't, and we just gonna be, I see you in the hallway, what up, yo? And just keep it moving.
Keep moving, yeah.
Nah, shit just started escalating more because at this time, I wanted to start putting real material out.
Okay.
So of course, as we recording, people gassing shit more and more. So we hearing little shit, they hearing shit because we dropping shit. I don't really know what they was doing because Brian was focused on going to school.
Yeah.
Steve might have been recording this shit because he knew how to do the same thing I knew how to do. So he could have been making shit too. I mean, and back then, I probably wouldn't even have listened to it because I didn't even want to hear nothing.
Okay.
For me to come back at my man, you know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
I'm not gonna just randomly make some shit. Now if he said some shit and or Brian said some shit, oh yeah, I probably would have came back at that point. But back then it wasn't really about that though, for real. It was more showing your skill, you know what I'm saying? That we wasn't going straight dissing. It wasn't going to be straight dissing. So I think it was subliminal shit that we would say.
Yeah, okay.
Subliminal shit.
Okay.
Subliminal shit and or not even subliminal, because we actually was off of it at one point. Once we started really making shit, we really wasn't saying shit, but I think people would take little things and turn and twist and turn.
Yeah, motherfuckers are just, oh, yo, he said this, and they just make something out of nothing.
Yeah.
Like, nigga, that was just a line.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it was a lot of them joints, they was lines, because we, to be honest, we hadn't talked to them niggas in so long that, I mean, yo, 8 months to 10 months went by between May and, like, November of that same year.
yeah.
So by the time, no, I'm wrong. That was 97. So we went through, yeah, was that 97? No, I'm wrong. That was the top of 98.
Okay.
I'm wrong, yeah. No, I'm wrong. Top of 97, top of 98, I'm wrong. Top of 98. So then when everything come out, now Jay-Z out, DMX out, all that shit coming.
98 was a, bruh.
And Nori come out. I know that's your man. I know you fuck with Nori,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yep. So all of us, we was around each other. So we all like the same shit. So at the end of the day, when we was coming, the reason I came so rapid and consistent with shit was because they was coming with their shit, and
Right.
we was almost at the age they was. They was like our big brothers to us, if you think about it. We 16, 17, 18. They was 25, 26, 27
Right.
at the time. So everything that niggas that's that age do, you kind of be like, oh, all right, I see what y'all doing.
Right.
And that's what fueled me. So really, that school year did it. And then once we got to Christmas, and then we, you know what I'm saying, then when I guess the word traveled to you, then you came, and then I'm like, all right.
And I was DJing, nigga. I ain't, like, I just on the low, like, nigga, I write raps, but I wasn't doing shit like, you ain't no nigga, I was DJing.
Yeah. So so that's the funny part is, we ain't out, to be honest, I ain't never had no bars for you.
Nigga, how could you?
Like never no time.
Yo,
if anything I had for you was, this nigga be with these niggas, and this nigga be with them, but I don't got no problem with yo. So why? But see, to me, that's the human mind. It make you feel like somebody might not fuck with you.
Bro, look, check us out.
Yeah.
We ain't had no classes together, from my recollection.
Nah.
We ain't hang out, none of that.
Nah.
It's just how it happened.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And like I was saying, this nigga was telling me shit, and I'm kind of sitting here thinking, though, to myself, though, like,
Right.
that's a funny story, but I was like, and I'm thinking about why the fuck, I can't recall why the fuck nigga was telling me.
Yeah, but it's guilty by association, yo.
Yeah.
It really is, for real. So when you came up to me, and then I guess everybody, we hit, you know, yo.
And I ain't gonna lie, that day I had a bad day the night before. I got beat up by the police and shit, nigga.
Oh, shit.
I was already hot sauce, like.
Yeah.
That very next day. I was off getting my ass whipped by the police. So
Look, and we was getting ready to go on a ski trip. So I felt like, yo, if anything, yo, we about to have a fucking time of our lives, yo. So we can't ruin this shit for everybody else.
yeah, I almost ain't get to go to that.
Yeah. No, I mean, yo, real shit. We knew better, but it was good. Shit worked out the way it was supposed to. Shit worked out.
And we here today, nigga.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you know, as men, you gonna say, I can honestly say, man, you approached me, I told you how I felt, and honestly, we kept it.
and that was that.
And 2 days later, niggas was chopping it up on the ski trip. We in the room together, niggas. You in my room, come holler at me, I come holler at y'all,
There we go.
and we good. And we been straight ever since.
Yeah.
We ain't never had no problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Coach the team and I own the team. Feel like I'm Sean Carter. I'm chasing bees and I'm chasing dreams. I'm all about dollars. I'm paying the tab. I told you I got it. I'm rocking designer. That Finny got.